Hi, this is Kevin Trainer, and welcome to my tutorial for the Senior Capstone on how to connect in a terminal window to uh, your SOIS web server. And this is for Windows 10. So I did a separate recording for Mac OS. If you're a Mac OS user, then go find that and play that one instead. Okay, so uh, the uh, the easiest way, I think, still the easiest way to make to get a terminal window to connect to a remote server on Windows is with a free program called Putty. So let's get that. All right, so I'm going to open up an Edge browser, and I'm going to do a search, and then I'm going to say Putty, Putty, Windows 10. Windows 10. Okay, that's good. And let's see, I've got a bunch of different things. Putty, download Putty, a free SSH antenna client for Windows from putty.org. Yeah, that looks like that. So I click through on that. And yeah, that's the page. I did it a little while ago. And we want a Putty. These things down the bottom are not what we want. So let's click here. And the latest release here in the fall of 2018 is this 0.70. Okay, and so we want that, and we want a package file, and we want an MSI Windows installer. And there are two versions. There's one for 32-bit Windows, and there's one for 64-bit Windows. I have a 64-bit copy of Windows, so I'm going to download and install the 64-bit one. Uh, Most people, I think, do have 64-bit Windows now, but if you don't, and you know that you've got 32-bit, then you're going to want to download the 32-bit version. So I'm going to click here on the 64-bit one. And down on the bottom, I'm going to say, yeah, I want to save that. Okay, and it looks like it's running a security scan. Okay, it finished downloading. And I don't want to look at it this way. I just want to, I'm going to close Edge, and I'm going to open a File Explorer. I've got a shortcut to it down here. So I'm going to open up that File Explorer, and I'm going to go to Downloads. And I see that I've got a Putty 64-bit 0.70 installer, and I'm going to double click on that. And that's going to bring up an install dialog. So yeah, on the first dialog box, I'm just going to click Next. And it seems to want to put it in C program files Putty. That sounds good. I'm going to click on Next. Product features, I'm just going to take all the defaults and click on Install. And I'm going to say, yeah, okay. We can do that. I'm going to watch it install. It doesn't take long. Do I want to view the README file? Well, yeah, you might want to. So I'm going to click on Finish, and it's going to bring up the README file. I've already read the README file. I don't see anything that I don't like. So now we've got Putty installed in Windows 10. And so how do we find it? Well, we go down to the Start icon, and we click on that. And it's in alphabetical order, so let's go down to P, O-P, Putty, And this is a group. This is a folderish thing. So we're going to open over on the right hand side. And there are a bunch of things, but the one that we want is just called Putty. Putty, it says new. So I typically want a copy of it in my taskbar. Now, one of the things I'm see is happening here, and I apologize for this, is that I don't have my virtual machine that I'm using here. I don't have it up to full screen. So not only are you seeing my taskbar down here, but you're also seeing the dock from my Mac machine. So I'm going to maximize this virtual machine so that you don't see that. Dock from Mac OS. And I apologize if I distracted you. Okay, so let's go back again. We're going to click. We're going to find Putty under P. We're going to open up the group. We're going to find Putty all by itself. We're going to right click, click on More, and then Pin to Taskbar. Okay, and I always like my things down in the taskbar. I don't want to have to search for them over here all the time. Okay, so now when we need to make a connection to work at the command line on our SOIS web server account, we're going to come down to the taskbar and click on the Putty icon, and it's going to fire up. And here are the important things. Okay, we see that the port that it's going to connect on is port number 22. Now that's a default port for this SSH program that we're going to be using. That's what's going to give us the secure terminal connection. So you can see that the button for SSH is already clicked. Okay, that's good. Now here we want to type in our username and our host name. So my username at UWM is TrainerK. Yours is going to be different. And then we use an @ sign. And then we just say uwmsois.com. So again, your ID at uwmsois.com in that box. Port 22 is the default for SSH, and now we just have to click on Open down at the bottom. And it wants to cache some kind of a security key, so I'm going to say yes. Okay, and here we are. We have got a terminal window, but we're not logged in yet. So what do? Well, it wants to know my password. So I put in my password. And there we are. And you can see the last part of the prompt usually has your directory name, and there's a little tilde here. That tilde is it's kind of a shortcut name for your home directory. So when we log in, we're in our home directory, we're in the right spot. The other tutorials that teach you how to clone the remote repository on your SOIS web server account, this is where it begins. There's a second tutorial that tells you how to subsequently pull changes to your SOIS web server account. That's where that one begins too. So I'm going to leave off here, but before I do, I just want to say, when you're done with your window, what do you do? What's the polite thing to do? Well, the polite thing is to close the remote session. So you do that by typing exit in return, and poof, it's gone. Okay, so that's it. It's pretty easy to get a terminal connection to your SOIS web server on Windows 10. You just need to download and install Putty, create a shortcut for Putty, click it to open it, and then just configure it with a couple of things there and connect. That's all. It's pretty easy stuff. So good luck with that. I'm going to say bye until next time. Bye bye.